Trump has been pretty bad for crypto, I'm not gonna lie. In this video, I want to show you facts, not just fiction, and I want to discuss things that are really concerning and what plans we could make for the future, because this might turn around any day, because Trump has been very volatile, more volatile than a shitcoin pretty much. But yeah, let's start with the facts, and then I'll share a few of my theses here. So Trump got elected right here on November 6th, 2024. And you can clearly see that after that, we had a massive rally of about 50% or so to the Valhalla, pretty much to the $100,000 Bitcoin. And this was all in anticipation of him bringing positive change to the industry. He promised to have a strategic reserve. He promised to make the US a crypto capital of the world. You know, all those big promises that he always makes, but usually kind of under delivers. So the market started pricing in very, very bullish year in front of us. But as you can see, once he got into office, which I don't remember the exact date, but it was somewhere in January, things have been very, very choppy. And you could argue that this is pretty normal. You know, after we have a big impulse to the upside, price needs to consolidate, take a breather, and that is true. But I just want to point out a few events that happened and are still happening as we speak, and what the reaction has been from the markets. And we're gonna start right here. So this was somewhere around here. So January 18, 19, we got an announcement that Trump is launching a meme coin. So this was the literal top of the market right here. And the worst part is that, okay, maybe it makes sense for him to launch a meme coin, although I don't think it does. Maybe it's overall bullish for the market, for the president of the free world, pretty much, to have a meme coin. However, on the very next day, what happened is he launched another meme coin, and that was the Melania meme coin, which is ridiculous. Like, why the hell would you do this? Like, just let's think about it very unbiased. Like, why would you first do one meme that pretty much the tokenomics here scream that they own like 90% of the supply and they're unlocks and they'll be dumping it on the market? And even if this was very big success at the moment, why do you launch another meme like the next day? I just don't get it, unless you have a hidden agenda, like the people around you are trying to extract value from the market. Because, you know, during the Biden administration, we had these SEC cases, and, you know, we gotta give credit to Trump. He dropped all the cases pretty much. But this also unlocks the opportunity for massive crime events that nobody will take notice, because he's the president and he's kind of running the show of the crimes. And this, I think, is one of the shadiest things we've ever seen in crypto. And this was the literal top of the market at this stage. And looking in hindsight, I wouldn't be surprised if this is the actual top of the entire cycle. It just makes sense. It's like 100,000 Bitcoin. We tested it. We failed to break it the second time. We started selling off. Freaking Trump is launching memes left and right. The Argentinian president also launched a meme. You know, all the narratives are there for the cycle to be over. But this is not the end, of Trump legacy and odyssey in crypto, I would say, because like a few weeks later, we had another announcement that didn't affect only crypto, but pretty much he announced the tariffs, and he did it on a Friday. So what happened right here is we were testing back, the all-time high again. However, he decided to launch tariffs. Excuse me, but I'm not sure if this is written the way it is. Doesn't matter. So he announced his tariffs here, and you can see how the market reacted. Come on, what the hell is happening here? Anyway, and this is bad for the market overall, and obviously this coincided with a dump on the S&P. But the very next week or so, and it wasn't even a week, we got the announcement that tariffs are canceled for a month or so. This was the candle right here. So you see we tested the range low here, and then we had a big pump. And then kind of fizzled out again, lower and lower and lower. And lo and behold, somewhere in here, he said, well, tariffs are back on again. And then obviously we sold off. We had a massive capitulation here. And of course, this is not the end. As you can guess with Trump, what happened also here is we had a massive up candle just a few days after the big dump. And this was the announcement of the so weighted strategic Bitcoin and crypto reserve. And a funny story here that I wanted to tell you is that you've probably seen this, but there was a long position with $200 million on Bitcoin with a 50x leverage, which means pretty much you get liquidated if price moves like 2 or 3% against you. And right after that, because this was the weekend, and usually crypto is, it doesn't trade that aggressively during the weekend. Usually it's a little bit more boring. But you can see that we had a massive run up here on this announcement for the strategic Bitcoin reserve. And it was so strange. Like, yes, everybody was expecting this in a way that we're going to have it. But the combination of somebody logging so much at such high risk tells me that, first of all, there has been something going on behind the scene. But another really big telltale sign is the actual announcement. So you can see here a US crypto reserve, blah, 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 and then the strategic reserve that includes XRP, SOL, and ADA. Like, why the hell would you put these specific tokens in here? Well, like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, even if you want to have the strategic Bitcoin reserve, why get so specific with the tickers? Not even the project names, like the tickers. Plus, he kind of forgot about mentioning Ethereum and obviously Bitcoin. So he made this another statement like, okay, but of course, obviously this will include BTC and ETH. And I'm just guessing here, okay? I'm not saying this exact thing happened, but his son is saying like a few weeks earlier, buy Ethereum, when it was really beaten up. And suddenly his daddy forgets to mention Ethereum, his own back, on the list, while these are pumping like 50-60% on the day. Ethereum gets announced, and guess what? It also pumps. So I'm like, what the hell is going on here? And the very next day, let's go back to the chart because it's just a sight to see when you put it here on the graph. The very next day, more tariffs. Like, yes, tariffs are coming in again. We're gonna have tariffs from March 4th or whatever. And guess what? A few days later, again, just yesterday, we had, oh no, tariffs will be canceled. This was just yesterday or the day before, I don't remember, but tariffs will be delayed with another month. So he's either playing 4D chess with the world, or he's just being advised by scumbags that are just trying to extract maximum value from the market. Either way, it just, the price action hasn't been great. And what is even more worrying, that we've lost this technical level, even that the Bitcoin strategic reserve was announced and so on. And I'm not sure if we're gonna bring it back, because another thing happened even as I speak. Today there's a crypto summit, which is quite important, looks like, at least by the headlines. But just even today, there was another announcement that the strategic reserve will not be built by taxpayers' money. So meaning that they will not go on the market and simply start buying stuff. And you can see the wick here on Bitcoin, but it pretty much happened on the other altcoins as well. Because what it pretty much said is we have confiscated through the years a lot of Bitcoin and some other cryptocurrencies, and this will be the strategic Bitcoin reserve. So this way we'll have the reserve. So I'm keeping my promise as a president, but the anticipation of the market that they will start buying shit on the open market maybe and pump our backs is not going to happen, which obviously brings a much bigger question in my mind, because the entire narrative of this run and of the entire bull run has been the adoption of cryptocurrencies, which we've obviously seen, and the absolute pinnacle in this will be building a reserve, which we are getting. This should be extremely bullish. However, the market anticipated a lot more than this announcement. And even today on a Friday, we're waiting for some kind of even more announcements on the crypto summit that there is. And I'm not sure if this is going to be good or bad. I think the market might have already priced it in. And yes, technically, they could do like more details on surrounding the strategic Bitcoin reserve or some regulations for crypto companies in the US, which overall will be bullish. Overall should be good for the market. But this could take years, because they have to go through Congress, and even the implementation and the actual benefits for the market could take years. And if this coincides with a dump on the S&P further down, I don't think it's a good picture right now for crypto overall. Although we've had all the bullish catalysts playing out pretty much in front of our eyes, but together with the tariff stuff, like I love this tweet. Let me just show it to you. Like one day he's adding tariffs, then he's removing them, then he's adding them again, now he's removing them again. This is obviously also for negotiation purposes with other countries, but you could see the effects on the market. Like people are getting tired of all this BS, and it's getting really overblown. Like even with the strategic Bitcoin reserve, and now this one also got announced that the Liberty 5 funds, that's pretty much backed by the Trump family, is partnering with Sui, and Sui had a pump the other day. And why are they announcing this? Like, what's the point here? I'm guessing there's again some kind of shady stuff going in the background that nobody knows about, which overall will probably do well for them, but for the overall market, people are getting burned left and right, and it's been like this for a while now, and I just don't see us kind of recovering so quickly from all the shit that's been going on. And again, if this coincides with a dump on the S&P, this could be the end for the crypto bull market. I'm not a fan of the cycle theory overall, and technically this should be a bullish year for crypto, but I'm just starting to view this more of another asset class, like the S&P, like the stocks, like pretty much any other sector, like metals or whatever, commodities, bonds, just another one of those, because it's been getting so much attention, and all the things, as I said, are already priced in. And if we have, let's say we have a bounce here. Let me just clean this up. But let's say we have a bounce on the S&P somewhere in here, and then potentially have another leg lower. This could coincide with, okay, we have the bullish catalyst, everybody gets bullish on crypto, and we have something like this, but we'll trade pretty much very closely related to the S&P, and potentially, for a lower leg overall. And then, once we start recovering from either tariffs or, something in the economy gets worse, we get a negative job report or inflation goes up, all kinds of things that could happen on the overall market. And maybe we chop around for like 6 months and then get another leg up. That's fine, but I wouldn't be betting on, let me just visualize it here. I wouldn't be betting that, okay, this here is just consolidation and will just go up higher because of announcements that I expect the President of the United States will happen. Because I'm already struggling to find what else he could announce that could be so big and much bigger than the Bitcoin strategic reserve, that will pump my back so much higher. I just don't see it. And I advise everyone to be very objective when it comes, because I know it's really, really hard to sell. And I advise everybody to be very, how can I say it, very flexible, because 1 minute, we could be dumping and you could be selling here at resistance that we are. And if we close the weekly like this, it's not a pretty picture below 90K. But also, if something happens and we have a technical bounce, as I said, on the indices and on crypto, I wouldn't mind, like rebuying stuff again here to here, like for a bounce play, or, if there's a setup that I could find and I like, I wouldn't mind buying it, and just not get married to either Bitcoin or anything else right now, and just hold it through, let's say, another 30-40% drawdown and maybe months and months of consolidation. Obviously, it depends on your strategies and how you typically trade, but I wouldn't be just blindly buying and just hoping that Trump will save my backs. And that's pretty much the strategy that I'll be implementing if this week turns out, and if the announcement today is not that much, which I expect to be nothing really big for the market, and we don't bounce on indices next week, I would definitely be ready to de-risk here even more and more, and just patiently wait for another setup. Because even if we are to turn bullish, there will be signals like this death range here, a perfect example. So look at this. We had a range. It started falling apart pretty much at 60K. We had a bounce, lower high, I would say here, another lower low, lower high, even lower, capitulation here, lower, lower, lower. And then suddenly I started getting bullish here around 60K, because technically we made the first higher high here in a while. And then the pullback was very shallow. I was buying here around 61, 62K, because the market structure has shifted. It took a shit ton of time, but then even if you missed this one, there was another one, on this breakout around 65, or even if you got here on the all-time high at this time, breakout around 72, you did well. So I think there will be plenty of opportunities to enter, even if you're late and if you need confirmation, and not only on the Bitcoin chart, whatever chart you like. There will be plenty of time, because just technically, yes, the market needs to recharge. And just one last point that I wanted to make, supporting that Trump is pretty much not being great for crypto. Imagine if we come back to here. Like, all the anticipation, we were very close, we didn't get to there, but all the anticipation, all the positive stuff that Trump is doing, arguably positive, and we fully retrace pretty much the move that he caused with getting elected. Now, is that good? Is it bad? I'll leave that to you. See you in the next one.